Welcome back to Geek Show Arcade.
Hey,
Yeah.
I am so amped up. Let's do this thing,
Yeah,
baby.
Straight into your ear holes.
That's right. Coming at you
Or
live.
or caverns if you're Tony.
Pre-recorded. Big ear holes right here. This is the Geek Show Arcade where we talk about video games and video game related things. Let's go ahead and introduce our panelists, starting with it's Jaren.
Hey, I'm Jaren.
Oh, we
You
got
can
it.
find
We
me
got
on
it.
Twitter at Jaren or on Geek Show Help Desk.
Nice. Nicely done, Jaren. Good redemption. We got Owen.
Hey there. You can find me here or on Geek Show Help Desk. I like those places. That's where you'll get me.
There you go. And Lando.
I'm here. I was
there's
doing the
the
Jaren thing.
pause.
I was doing the Jaren thing. I was doing it. Yeah, it's Lando. I sometimes play video games and sometimes
You're
talk
nowhere
about
now.
them.
You're nowhere now.
What was that?
You're nowhere now except for here. This is the only place we can get you.
This is
No
it.
social medias.
No social medias, no nothing. Yeah.
We talked
I deleted
about
all the
it in
games off my phone
in-between.
too. That's the other thing I did.
That's
No
sort of
games.
frightening.
The only game I
That's
have
sort-
left on my phone is chess and Wordle.
What are you going to do when Balatro comes out?
I'm gonna buy Balatro.
There's
There's
no
no
doubt. Come on.
That is the that's the drug that'll get him to.
Yep.
Oh, open the
It's
door
a hell of a
again.
drug
Yeah.
too. Anyway, we have a toast.
Hey, you
We have a
got it.
toast.
I'm the toast. Check me out on Twitter at QuadTTony or
Here,
on
here.
other Geek Show podcasts.
Here.
All right. Hey, do we have any emails?
No.
Wow.
What was that?
He was yawning
You caught.
and he said
I was
no
gonna say.
at
I was
the
gonna
same
say you
time.
caught him off guard, but it's more like you caught Jaren on guard.
Yeah,
That's just
I
normal
think
for
that
Jaren right
was,
there.
Right there.
That's usually my noise. I'm triggered by that now, Tony. That's how I know Jaren's got me in a cyclical.
Oh, right. I need to
in
find
a
a
s-
different noise
yeah.
for you to.
Yeah, that's how, every time I hear that now, I'm like, stop talking.
Let's see.
I love it when you talk though.
What
Owen.
about this one?
No, you don't, Jaren.
Yes.
You made.
Will that work?
Yeah, that'll work.
Wow, that stopped him in his tracks.
It did.
That was good.
It was new. It
I
was new and
almost had him,
interesting.
Tony. He was
It-
about to do it again.
It was new and interesting.
I don't know how I feel about this.
Play the bell.
Yeah, you might have to change it every week. It's
That's right.
Pavlovian. It's Pavlovian.
I'm
It's
just getting
working.
it. Yep, I'm just getting it stuck.
Good. I like it.
All right. Well, let's move along to the stories then. Did anyone put anything in here about? Okay, we didn't. We should have covered this, but we'll cover it now real quick. So, Digital Foundry finally got their grubby little mitts. I say that with as much love as possible because I love Digital Foundry so much. On nice footage of the PlayStation 5 Pro reveal. And in this week's Digital Foundry Direct video, they spent like half an hour talking about 4 minutes of footage. So they went through and just like picked everything apart to see what the difference is going to be on the PS5 Pro compared to the PS5. And I thought it was really interesting. I highly recommend checking that out. But what it basically comes down to more than anything is PSSR looks like it's going to be pretty rad. And that's going to be the big kind of game changer for the PlayStation 5 Pro. You'll be able to have games that internally render at the same as PlayStation 5 or maybe a little bit higher. But then with PSSR, it upreses to 4K and you'll get, 60 frames per second or higher on games like that.
Does this move the Does this move the needle for you?
I mean, it was a done,
It
deal
was
that
already
I was
happening.
probably going to get one at some point. It hasn't moved up the time frame for me by any stretch. It's still going to be maybe when I do, it'll be because there's something that's Sony exclusive that I want to play on the platform that I haven't played already. So we'll see when that happens because they are not having a lot of exclusive games come out any time in the near future. So anyway, check that out. Digital Foundry on YouTube, this week's Direct for the week of the 17th.
Neat.
All right. Let's talk about, we might as well just toss this one in there too because it's PlayStation related. In some documents that leaked this week, apparently Intel was in the running to put the to provide the new chip for the PlayStation 6 instead of sticking with AMD.
Ooh.
I bet what this is. Sony's procurement group is like, hey, you got to get new bids.
Yeah. Just like any,
probably.
just like
And,
just like
and they're
any
like,
corporation,
okay,
right?
That's a
we
good
know
point.
Intel's going to fail. Just put them on there just for fun, you know.
We
Well,
have
and
to
you
do
know-
it because we have to do it because we have to do it.
And you know who else was on there for some crazy reason I saw? Broadcom.
Oh yeah, for sure. You got to have 3 bidders, right? You got to have three different bids.
What the heck has Broadcom made recently that would do anything in a video game system, you know? Like that. I mean,
There's
if they
stuff for the
wanted
Switch, right?
if they wanted no, that was Nvidia. If they wanted to do a specific, you know, Ethernet NIC or Wi-Fi, then you
Maybe
talk
they're
to
doing-
Broadcom.
Yeah, maybe it's a Wi-Fi bid.
But yeah, it had to have been something like that. So anyway, it says, however, ultimately AMD did win the bid, and it might not even be related to Intel not having a good enough margin, but that combined with the chances of backwards compatibility working flawlessly
right.
is a lot lower
The big incentive.
with throwing AM or Intel stuff in there after you've had AMD for 3 generations, so, or 2 generations, I guess. But
Do you think AMD is just it for a while? Because
yeah.
like if Sony and Microsoft want backwards compatibility, which they do, they got to stick with x86.
yep,
Unless there's huge strides in getting ARM compatibility with like older libraries, which I don't think that's anywhere close.
no, that's years down the road for sure. But then also keep in mind, console generation lasts 6 to 7 years,
Right.
so you never know. But
I
for
bet in
sure,
6 to 7 years, Intel could be at a place where they could compete for the next one.
yeah, I was gonna say maybe the PlayStation 7 and whatever Xbox has planned after the next one that they're doing. But with Microsoft, the way they are pushing the ARM stuff with their translation layer and everything, if that continues to improve,
Maybe.
you could see, I could definitely see Microsoft going with some sort of NVIDIA SoC if NVIDIA gave them good
Licensing.
reason to, good financial incentive, stuff like that.
Right.
So, never know. You never know. All right, let's talk about. What do we got here? Mostly some
Jaren
Steam-
pause.
We got a lot of Steam game, like PC and Steam related stuff. So let's talk about Steam Families, because that went live just this last week.
It's been in beta for a while,
Yeah.
and I've been using it because as my kids get older, they want to play games, and since I have like 4 or 5 different PC devices throughout the house, inevitably they'll.
Humble brag.
It's a problem, Tony. It's an addiction. It's a
Turn it
cry
off
for
right
help.
now.
Cry for help. Yeah.
Yes. Anyway, before, since they were part of my Steam family, if they played anything, my entire library would be locked, so I couldn't play anything either.
No good.
Not great. Not great. So with the new Steam families, if developers opt in, only that one game will be locked. So if my
Well, that makes more sense.
yeah, if my kids are playing Streets of Rage 4, I can play whatever I want as long as it's not Streets of Rage 4. So much better. And it's finally out in non-beta, and it's great. I don't think Steam Deck has been updated yet, but everything else has, like the desktop clients have. So if you want it on Steam Deck, I think you still have to do the beta. Last I checked a couple days ago, it was still that way anyway.
The beta branch on the Steam Deck, though, is really, really good.
Yeah, I haven't had it updated slightly more often,
Yeah.
but I didn't
it
notice
is stable,
any
you know?
issues at all. Yep.
Surprisingly, we usually don't recommend going the beta branch on anything that you use regularly, but I've been pleasantly surprised and impressed with how stable the Steam Deck beta branch is.
Yep. And I'm using it as intended, as the good Valve has intended it.
Only people within
thanks,
your
Valve.
household.
I'm sure Owen wouldn't though. It's just a guess.
Hey, that's my story that I have here. So Valve is saying, "Hey, only share this with your family, okay?" And then, so my quote here is, "I bet they'll only share it with their family." Valve probably. But they're not. They're not.
No
So
way.
right,
Come on.
Valve is asking people, please don't share this outside your family. Just don't. But let's be real. That's the headline of this art. But let's be real. Everyone shares games with their Discord friends. So Steam Family is going live, and Valve is walking the line. They're like, it really is a great thing that they're doing. Like, this is a great thing. I'm just gonna come out and say this has made it so that me and my kid can share our library without, like, because when we first got into Steam games, he didn't have an account and he just bought a bunch of games on my account. But then I got into gaming a lot more and I took my account back.
Give me that and your
And
games.
I was
Mine
like,
now.
I was like, like no joke, like Oxygen not included and stuff, like his game,
Great game.
but his mom, the prototype mother, she bought that for him.
Would
but
you say prototype wife?
No, I wouldn't say that. Because that
I
infers that
wouldn't
I
say
Tony.
that infers that I helped create that, and I have nothing to do with that.
Oh,
But
fair enough.
But she was the prototype's mother. It was
Okay.
my prototype children's mother. Anyway, she bought that game. And it's mine now. I mean, it's in my account. Anyway, so
Possession
but-
is 9/10 of the law.
yeah, but it's because I was like, hey, it's coming to my email address. So what you can do is take this and F off all the way over there. Son. So,
Jeez.
so anyway, they haven't really they're right now they're just kind of saying, hey, to that end, as we monitor usage of the feature, we may adjust the requirements for participating in a Steam family. And indeed, some people have already had problems sharing their Steam libraries across, like, to the EU. Some people in, like,
Yeah. If you're going to go across continents, they're going to notice,
yeah, I want to
I mean,
find
honestly,
out.
if all they have to do is look at the IP that you're plugged into, and if you're coming
Absolutely.
from a different IP, they know you're not in the same household.
Netflix does this, but they struggle with it, right? Because
Yeah.
well, you do with mobile phones, right? Because you
Exactly.
have got the Steam app, which actually pulls an IP address from the mobile provider, so it doesn't necessarily have the same geolocation.
You might run into the same issue with Steam, but I think a lot less because
Yeah,
the Steam Deck is portable, but
I think they're going to have to do some sort of device registration.
probably
That's what
at some
Netflix will end
point,
up doing,
yeah.
where you basically have to say, what is this device? Verify it from, is this a mobile phone? What is this? And then kind of wrote that. But, it's not being used quite as it's intended. I am using it as intended.
Who could
Jaron
have
is.
seen that coming?
But yeah, most people, what if you don't have any kids that you love? That you don't want to share your
Not
Steam game
what
with?
if you don't have any kids?
Yeah, yeah.
What if you have any kids you don't love?
There's exactly. Like I'm including all there. You could also not have kids, but what if you have some that you really just like I said earlier, go all the way over there. And F off all the way that way as far as you can, and then keep effing off. Anyway,
A little more. Keep
one more.
going.
Keep.
Nope, not far enough.
There you go. F off.
There
Got
it
it.
is. That's
So
the spot.
we'll see how it goes. I'm super stoked. I'm glad Jaron brought this up because I look at the negative always first. It's how I am. I find
That's just
I
your
find-
default, right?
Yeah, I find I don't know what I find. I find not joy but contentment
Security.
just maybe intrigue. I find intrigue in seeing unintended consequences are something that I'm super interested in because I like to understand the logic of how people think. And then, like, Starlink is this great idea. It's going to change the world. Oh, now it's also making it so that they can decode stealth
You'd
technology.
love my job
stealth.
lately then, if you like unintended consequences.
Oh, yeah? Well, yeah, you get to push one bean over here and then watch a whole section of your
No.
company leave or die or die
That's awful.
or whatever. I love that about money.
All right, there you
Those
go.
are intended consequences, Owen.
Oh, snap.
yeah.
Dang,
Oh, that's
dude.
evil.
I don't like
Jaron.
those as much. I don't like intended consequences come with responsibility. And I don't like that.
I don't like being responsible.
I don't
things.
like having a paper trail. I like being able to claim ignorance. I didn't know. Anyway,
It's always easier to ask
Carry
for
on.
forgiveness than it is to ask for permission.
buddy, that's going on my tombstone. Right there.
All right, we talked a lot about AI and Geekshow Help Desk this week, and we do have one AI story here in Geekshow Arcade. So EA, you know, known for making good decisions, is launching a new social app. This is actually more interesting than I thought it'd be the more I read into it. This mixes sports gaming tech, something they do called Ultimate Team, and live sports all into one.
Oh, Lando, you're gonna have to get back on the
This
social
might be
media
something you have
sauce.
to test out,
Yeah, absolutely.
So this was announced today, being Tuesday. It's EA's Investor Day, and it functions similar to, I guess, sports apps for ESPN, and has score stats, blah blah blah. But it also ties in with EA's games and sports games specifically, and it can unlock prizes called Ultimate Team cards. I have no idea what that is.
Probably NFT.
Something to do with EA.
Sounds like something James would
sports
know.
games. But
James,
this
I
is where
summon you.
this is where it gets interesting. It says ultimately Tinsons says, that's the guy, his last name's Tinsons, says EA's goal is to create a social app that just lost my freaking spot because I wanted to see David Tinson. There we go, Chief Experience Officer. The goal is to create a social app that allows fans to follow their favorite sports teams while integrating in-game rewards and community elements.
For like FIFA or something?
Or Madden.
Okay.
Or whatever. And he showcased a number of features, it says, that incorporated EA's technology. Now, this is interesting, including a system that appears to seamlessly translate real-life moments into virtual highlights that can be viewed from any angle using EA Sports FC engine. The FC engine.
Could this be the missing link between real sports and fantasy football, or like fantasy sports like that?
I mean,
like
it's
the visual
looks
representation.
like they're trying to push it into that. So you'd be able to see a highlight of a basketball game, and then it would import it into their FC engine and rebuild it in the game engine so that you could move the camera around and see everything go down
super
cool.
in the
Like a
game
360
engine
view.
at any angle, right?
Because they're already doing 360 cameras with all the sports nowadays. Like they've got
Won't
the
need
cameras
that,
on a
though.
wire and
you won't
stuff.
need that because it will use the game engine and
to
AI
just
to
recreate
it
Oh.
in the game engine completely.
I
Yeah, with all the
wonder how
stats and things,
close it
it's
can
not
get.
hard.
Yeah.
That's
Talked
going
about
to be
this
the
before, haven't
interesting
we?
part. Now, it also, this is the next cool thing. It also will have predictive simulations that can not only simulate upcoming matches, based on the teams and their stats and everything, but you can also ask it questions like, who would win between the 85 Bears and the 07 Patriots? And it would take all that information and tell you what would happen in a game like that.
My March Madness bracket is about to get updated.
That's
gonna
right.
get
You're going to get updated for sure.
Updated.
Updated.
Haven't heard updated for a while.
Update.
That's good right there. But
Good
yeah,
stuff.
this is the kind of stuff that I feel like AI is pretty cool for in gaming.
Because it's statistics, right? Like
Taking
statistical
this kind
data.
of data, and manipulating it for other presentations and other forms of consuming it. I don't want AI to build the game for me, but if it can take a game engine and help make it so that I can see a real life event in a virtual world and be able to get different angles on it, that's pretty cool.
Plus, all those March Madness nerds that really keep track of all the players and their stats and have spreadsheets can all
predict
suck
your
it now
whole-
because
yeah.
I can be just as good.
Let's suck it now.
Just
Yeah,
predict your
just
whole
like-
season based on
Just
that.
like scripting and coding now.
Yep.
I don't need to go learn it.
Just
Wow,
ask the AI to do it.
This removes an entire hobby for like tens of millions of men.
Well,
Well,
but
No,
Well,
just
actually,
it lets
one
me
thing-
you
in.
would always be smarter than AI.
No.
One thing to consider, though, is every time a week of games happens, it updates the stats, so your projections might be wrong from the week
A week
before.
off, right? Because if somebody gets
Yeah.
injured, right?
Exactly. So
Right, if
you,
there's
you
an
have to
injury.
continually update your information in there and run the simulations
Which I would
again. But
I
you
would
could,
just watch
you
my
know?
team and be like, hey, so and so got injured. What would happen if he got injured and was out? And then the AI is going to be like, oh, I didn't know that.
Here's what I would say.
Here's
So
how
yeah,
you win in
it is-
Vegas.
It's going to be supported on iOS and Android devices, and for release planned for September 27th. That's only 10 days away.
I
It's
wish I
coming
was
up.
more into sports.
I know
Sports
that's
are
the
dope.
thing.
Like
As I
I'm
look
like
at
I'm
that
like
and
really
this would
interested,
be
but then I'm
cool.
like, sports stuff though. No thanks.
I don't care about the subject matter though.
Yeah, exactly.
know? But the tech behind this is really neat sounding. So we'll see if it actually delivers though. That'll be
Yeah.
the next thing. All right. Speaking of games that deliver big time in spades, Flappy Bird's back. Oh yeah.
Jaron, do you? I have this one.
This is yours, Owen.
This is
Okay,
you,
I
bud.
thought I swear I saw it on Jaren's notes, but this is so good. This is a story actually. Flappy Bird. Do you guys remember? You guys
remember.
remember?
Of course I remember Flappy Bird.
Do you remember what happened to it? Do you remember
Yeah,
why
the
it
guy-
got pulled?
The
The guy pulled
developer
it.
didn't want to. He didn't want to like the fame anymore. He's like,
He
this
did-
is enough for me. I'm out.
He said, you
He
know
was
what?
afraid
I
that
made
it
this
would
game.
ruin people's
Yeah.
lives.
He said I built this game to have fun, and now it's just becoming addictive, and I'm out. And he pulled it. Just cold turkey. Goodbye forever. He said. Good. His tweet said goodbye forever.
And he was saying goodbye to an estimated $50,000 in advertising revenue
Yeah.
per day.
Mhm.
That
And
ad
that's
was on the
nuts.
and that's
market.
10 years ago. That's 10.
Yeah.
Like this could have like think of like
If this
like
exploded
freaking
today, in
like
the same
Supercell, like
ratio, yeah.
Supercell level ad
Yep.
revenue. Anyway, so he said, adios. Well, a tech firm at that same year said he just pulled that whole thing, and they filed a patent challenge for claiming the IP. Okay. And it was through another company. It's these tech bros. These they go that like, and they file to the it's a weird acronym, USPTO, U.S. Patent and Trade
Patent
Office,
and trade,
Yeah.
Trademark Office.
Yeah.
And they're like, yeah, we want to challenge his right to that. And it was through another company, but they were awarded. So they
Gosh.
did get awarded the
You
they
know why
granted-
though? Did you see why?
Yeah, they use. So basically, this guy lives in Hong Kong or in North Korea.
I
Where's he
thought it
live?
was Vietnam or something.
Vietnam. Anyway, he's not. He's somewhere east. I'm sorry, I didn't. It's
Somewhere
one of
in
those
Asia.
places.
The
Somewhere in
point-
Asia.
The point is, it's Vietnam. It says right there.
Yeah.
He lives in Vietnam.
So they granted that. They granted the Mobile Media's partner, by the way, which was a different company. They granted him that trademark, or at
Well,
least the challenge.
Yeah, he didn't respond to the challenge,
Exactly.
and so they just
They
default
got a-
default
they got a-
judgment
Mhm.
For the company.
That's a shady U.S. legal move because,
Oh, yeah.
like imagine having your work in another country, which is probably what China does to our tech too. When they're like, well,
Probably.
you can't. Well, if you want to challenge the patent, oh, they didn't respond. Summary judgment, like
Ours
default.
now.
Yep. Anyway, so they get it. Then these company they changed their name to Game Tech. Okay. But on the patent, the address for Game Tech and Mobile Media Partners is exactly the same address. So we're gonna
Wow.
assume
Same
that
company.
they're the same person. They just went through a they changed the name, moved to a different state type of thing.
Shell corporation stuff.
Yeah, so Mobile Media Partners on the 2014 is when this guy pulled it, and that's exactly when Mobile Media Partners applied for that, and it matches the address uses by Game Tech Holdings. Okay, so then as Game Tech Holdings, with this evidence, they, with the evidence that they filed in 2014 through whatever, in 2018, they were granted the Flappy Bird trademark. So they got it. And a fact that, and then Game Tech cited that successful trademark, whatever. And so in 2023, they got use of the trademark completely, and they've been working on it. And it's a decades-long convoluted journey, and they basically stole it from the guy.
Yep.
And this is, by the way, this is actually going to turn into a little bit of a crypto corner. Because
Oh no, again?
yeah, don't worry, I'm not into it. I'm over it. I got over that. I'm into TikTok now. But anyway, so they've got flappybird.org, and they have a whole they're relaunching it. And his tweet, this guy, he goes, so he's been like, hey, you bring this back, and he says, no, I have no related with their game. I did not sell anything. I also don't support crypto. so
Just in case you were wondering.
yeah, so here's where it gets into just craziness. But the Flappy Bird Foundation, it's committed to preserving the Flappy Bird IP and expanding the legacy of Flappy Bird. The organization's social media promises the game is 100% free to play and always will be. But here's the thing: Michael Roberts, who is listed as the press release and in the press release as the chief creative behind Flappy Bird's return, is listed on LinkedIn.
Chief
as,
creative? What is he being creative on?
I don't know. It just says chief creative behind, I guess. But here's what he's listed on in LinkedIn: head of studio for 1208 Productions, which is a website.
Another corporation that they own.
So a website that describes it as a mobile game developer and production studio that also is a pioneer in the Web3 space. Do you guys know what Web3 is?
I have no idea what Web
blockchain
3.0 is.
crap.
Blockchain.
Oh, is that
Yep.
blockchain
Web3 is all blockchain.
That sounds familiar. Actually,
It's DeFi and all that. So the main crypto related project on the 1208 production site is set on NFTs based around the D's nuts joke.
How did I miss investing into this?
I don't know.
I should have invested in these nuts.
The webpage that for that project also lists Roberts, this guy, the head creative, as Papa Nut, as a partner of the Doge Pound NFT project. So we're getting into NFTs, which I've always just been like, what?
I thought they had a future for a minute, but
yeah, I thought
everything proved me wrong on that.
Yeah, I thought they were going to be able to use Ravencoin for that to truly like link that digitally. Like digital art is a thing, right? Like who owns digital art if it's just pixels and electronics? But digital art's a real thing, right? So all you can do is trademark the likeness of your work, right? Yep. Anyway, so I'm gonna just muscle through this one. So
we're not done yet?
No, that's what I'm saying. There's a crypto. No, you don't want. You got to hear the rest of this, Tony. I can't. I'm not ready for it. I'm not ready for the bell. Please don't yank me off stage yet.
That was longer than Hamlet.
I know it's not. It's gonna be a lot bloodier though. So,
promises.
They are touting Flappy Bird's strategic collaborations with chief names in the Web3 sector, and that mentions Flappy Bird players joining a free of cost mining event on the Ton network.
No.
Yeah, so So here's what the picture says: earn points, win rewards. You will win team rewards for helping your flock rank each week on the leaderboards. Additionally, you can win individual rewards by completing daily challenges. And then it has connect Ton Wallet or create wallet.
Jeez.
And you basically then future rewards, and you choose your wallet: Ton Keeper, My Ton Wallet, Ton Hub. Anyway,
you guys know they're about 5 years too late for this.
I
right?
know.
I mean,
I don't know. They're gonna be basically microtransactioning with Flap token, which is just gonna.
Did they just make that up? Flap token is their thing?
That's their thing. $ reference to a Flap token that can be stored on a crypto wallet through the Ton network, and ours were requested comment, and they didn't get any response from them.
Well, no, because they don't want ours to tear them apart.
Here's the thing.
Say.
Here's the thing. They found all this stuff out about the crypto content, and the stuff was on an archived. They found it on the Wayback. It's now deleted, but archived page promising the new Flappy Bird will fly higher than ever on Solana. Which, if you remember, Solana was nothing to sneeze at. That one had promise as far as crypto goes. So anyway, but so I don't know. Flappy Birds is back, which Jaren's excited for, right, Jaren? but also
Looks
you
like
can
he's
get back
playing it
into
right now.
you can get back into cryptocurrency, Jaron.
Everything about the story I hate. Tech Bros
know.
stole something creative from someone that didn't want this out in the world,
Yeah.
and through legal shenanigans, now it's theirs.
have
Now
turned
there's
it in-
somehow crypto involved.
I know they've turned
this
it
is
into a
everything-
zombie.
This is
It's
everything I
literally
hate
Frankenstein's monster
about
right?
the world. And
Yeah.
Owen, you're the deliverer of this.
I'm a purveyor. Don't hate the purveyor. Purveyor hate the game.
This is like this. Ars Technica did this. They basically just pulled a string
Yeah.
and it
And they're
just
like,
kept
"Wait a
pulling
second."
and kept pulling, and
They're like
eventually
Flappy
the whole
Birds is
sweater,
coming back. How did
The whole
how did
sweater
that happen?
unraveled.
Yeah.
It was crazy.
And that guy in Vietnam's like, I did not do this.
This isn't me, guys.
And I hate crypto.
Yeah. By the way,
Yeah.
well, now that statement makes sense.
Anyway, go read the story. It's there's a couple of links out. I've got the source in the notes.
Felt like I've read the story 5 times.
I know, but
Right?
you can get another. There's another article on blockchainreporter.net that talks more about it. So if you're not Jaren, you can go read some more.
Did you ever play Flappy Bird, Owen?
I never did. Never.
Are you going to now?
24. No. Out of solidarity,
Hang on,
brother.
Hang on a second. Hey, you know what, Jaron? No.
Okay.
You're not-
Hey,
you're not-
Jaren! You tried to do that again. You son
Tony's
of a...
on to me.
That's it.
Solidarity,
All right.
brother. I won't play it for you.
Let's talk about Unity actually making a good decision with their engine.
Remember that horrible fee that Unity came out with?
Yes.
It
Felt
was
like a
bad.
year ago at this point.
Was
I don't
it?
know.
It was
It's
high.
been
It
a
was
while.
a big old. Yeah.
Yeah, is called the runtime fee, which sought to charge developers a per install fee
Oof.
once projects had passed certain milestones. And so suddenly, developers were making a lot less money, depending on how successful they are. Anyway, huge revolt. A lot of what's that called? Cock blocking, boycotting. A lot of boycotting.
I frequently confuse those two
Yeah.
as well.
I mean, it's got most of the same letters in it.
It's thematically
Super
the
close.
same.
My gosh.
It's boycotting adjacent.
Indeed. Anyway, it's taken long enough, but they are killing that stupid runtime fee.
Good.
So rejoice. You can
Do they
maybe
have
feel
data for
comfortable with
why?
Unity again. I don't know. Maybe
Do they
they'll
just
pull
get to say? Do they just get to say we've reevaluated? It's really not good for it, or have they actually put out like it's not lucrative, like were they losing business? What are your thoughts on why?
Oh, I'm sure that was just a blowback.
Yeah, the blowback. I'm sure
Yeah.
They
their
thought they'd
business
weather
went
it.
down substantially because
And now
of
they
it.
get to
thought
take
they-
the high road and be like, you know what? Never mind, freedom.
This is
To
a
you
new
developers.
Coke situation.
Yeah.
So, for all you olds out there who understand the new Coke reference, let's talk about one of my favorite things in the world, The Witcher. Netflix. Netflix announced this week that there is another Witcher cartoon coming to Netflix, and the best part about this news is Doug Cockle is going to voice Geralt, the same guy that voiced Geralt in the Witcher games.
Whoa.
Yeah.
Do you like him over what's his name? Henry Cavill?
Well, I mean, you're talking two different mediums. You're talking live action.
True,
versus-
live action. But like to me, since I haven't played the game, Henry Cavill is my
Sure, yeah. And
Is my
having
girl.
played the games, Doug
Right.
Cockle
Yeah.
is the voice of Geralt, just like Kevin Conroy was the voice of Batman.
right.
You know, Kevin Conroy was Batman for me. But yeah, so I'm pretty excited to see what they do with this. And seeing Doug Cockle get to be the voice of Geralt again is pretty.
I'm glad they're bringing him
great.
in.
What?
I'm glad they're bringing him in. That's cool.
Yeah. Totally
Did you like
deserves it.
the Netflix version of or the Witcher version with Hemsworth? With
It's not
what's
out
his
yet.
name? Oh, it's not
Yeah.
out yet. Oh, okay,
Yeah.
I'm
I
behind.
don't think so. Yeah.
Okay,
I actually didn't even finish the last season with Cavill.
you didn't like? Did you not like it?
It was okay. It just was kind of
Slow?
Yeah.
Kind of slow.
I might
I
go
thought.
back and
I
finish
thought.
it at some
Is this
point,
the game he
but-
likes so much? I'm like not getting anything out of this.
Yeah.
I liked it because of the special effects and Henry
The first-
Cavill's a great actor in it. But
The first couple seasons were better than, like the first two
Yeah.
seasons I thought were better.
oh, and the Bard is amazing. in the show.
What do they call him in the show? In the games and in the book, he's Dandelion. But I can't remember. Whisker, something.
Keep trying, you'll get it.
Yasker.
Yasker. Yeah.
I was close. I was getting there. All right. Let's talk about some game developer tea. Oh, Annapurna Interactive. We talked about them just a couple of weeks ago because, what's their names? Remedy made a deal with Annapurna, not with their interactive branch, but with their other media creation branch.
Yeah.
Well, this is specifically has to do with their interactive branch.
Yeah. It's not good. It's not good news.
Not good.
So there's a little bit of shakeup with the management. They were trying to move some things around, and there was a leadership shuffle, and Nathan Gary and Deborah Mars and Nathan Vella all resigned from the company. Those are the leadership. And but not only did they do it, the entire company just quit. Everybody left. All employees of
the gaming division.
All employees of the publisher have resigned too. Yeah. And apparently it's a failed bid by Gary's and his colleagues to spin the publisher out into an independent company. They wanted out. And so they had been negotiating with Annapurna founder Megan Ellison, who pulled out of talks, said, nah,
I'm out.
And so they resigned, and the only guy left is Hector Sanchez, who came back. He's like, I'm back from Epic. I went over there and it was terrible, and I'm back here to live out the dream.
Well, he was instrumental in the
in their initial launch. Yeah, and he was like,
so.
what am I even doing over here at Epic? That's my family over there. And he came back, and then they all left.
Dang it.
It was like, so
Guys?
he's the only one. He's the president of Interactive and New Media. He's the remaining executive in the whole branch there.
Well, good luck to you.
Ellison stated that the publisher's top priority is continuing to support our developer and publishing partners during this transition. She said the company still intends to support its existing slate of games, but also expand its presence in the interactive space. Yeah. There's no transition here.
Transition. C, clean up.
Yeah. C, massacre. Like walkout. Like there's nobody left. Like
you can't transition if there's nobody to transition to.
Yeah, there's no transition. It's a whitewash, we call that in the networking world, when like an entire IT team or networking team gets canned or whatever. And you have to walk in blind.
Whitewash.
Oh man, that's the worst. Absolute worst. Anyway.
Well, there you go. We'll keep
office.
an eye on this and see what happens.
I like the second headline. Annapurna has suddenly gone from hitmaker to an empty office. So, what games do you know from them? Have you guys known Stray, Outer Wilds?
Done a lot of games. Yeah.
Storyteller.
What Remains of Edith Finch.
Yeah, they also have a TV and theater branch arm.
Yeah, we talked about this a couple weeks ago.
Yeah, I didn't know.
We hit on all this.
Yeah, because we were talking about the sausage party.
Yeah,
which is horribly uncouth, but
successful.
It's horribly uncouth, but it's funny if you like. It's quotable, I guess. It's got funny parts to it. Yeah. So anyway.
All right. Last but not least, Jedi Survivor finally got patch number 9 for PC this last week.
And after like a year and a half of it being out or whatever.
Is it better?
It's better. It's
playable.
It's Tony. You never played it in its original state. It was a dumpster fire of constant stutters.
I guess
originally.
Do you get to fly in a space plane in this game?
You don't do any of that.
That's Outlaws.
There's no question that it's better, but they still have some stuff that needs to be addressed.
Before, if you ran through the main village in Kobo, which is one of the planets in Jedi Survivor, it was like a slideshow. Even though it was reported like 80, 90 frames per second, it was just stutters, hitches all over the place. Totally impacted gameplay, and it was so bad that like it gave me motion sickness, even though I never get motion sickness playing games.
Ooh.
It was just bad. Anyway, finally patched because it's coming out on PS4 and Xbox One. So I think they had to do a lot of optimization to the main game, and maybe they just thought, well, we're doing this anyway, I might as well fix the PC port. I don't know.
Or it's probably one of those, this helps here, I'll bet it helps on that one too.
Yeah.
Just to play
They're
it back.
close enough. Yeah.
Yeah.
But it is loads better now. I qualify it as a okay PC port at this point, whereas
I would
before
agree.
it was miserable.
I would say, aside from the weird DLSS frame gen stuff I'm having an issue with, it's decent. You know,
like,
it's no worse than Elden Ring.
It's better than Elden Ring.
That's what I said. No worse than.
No, it's better than.
It's not worse than.
It's better than. Anyway, they
I like what you're doing here, but
they
I gotta
fixed most
ring
of the
the bell,
shader
Tony.
compilation stutters. They fixed like the weird camera movements, from what I can tell. And
There it is.
what remains are like the traversal stutters. So every once in a while you'll get a hitch here and there, but it's honestly
They set the bar
really
so
pretty good.
low at first
yeah.
that now it
that's
seems amazing.
That's it.
If
Yeah,
it had
what it
launched like this, that's what you'd complain about and be like, they need to fix this. But because they started it so low,
Yeah.
a year
Tony-
later,
Tony's reporting ghosting issues with frame generation. I'm not seeing any of that, so I can't
It's-
speak to that.
It's with frame generation and HDR on at the same time.
I
That's
have
where
frame
I'm
gen
at.
and HDR on the same time, and I'm not seeing it.
I
So
don't know.
your mileage may
tell
vary. You might have to sub in a new DLSS file.
That's what I'm gonna play with.
But yeah, it's good. I would recommend it on PC now, whereas before I'd be like, don't even try.
Even with the problems I'm having, I would say it's still. I'd still recommend it on PC, because if you turn HDR off, then it's fine. You just don't get.
I
as
don't even
nice
play
of
it at that
colors and
high.
stuff.
I don't even play it at that high. Like I'm on 2K monitors, so maybe it'd be fine for me.
HDR has nothing to do with.
I know, but
resolution.
like I don't have HDR either. These monitors are not HDR.
Oh, it'll run-
yeah.
it'll run
Yeah,
great
it'd
for
be
you.
fine for you
Yeah.
then. Yeah, if you don't
Yeah.
have HDR.
Well,
then-
you have a 3080 Ti, which doesn't
Yeah.
do frame gen anyway, so
Okay.
you don't have
yeah,
to
you'd
worry
be
about
fine.
none of
Sweet.
that. But it's on Game Pass, so
Oh,
so
boom.
give it a shot on Game Pass. That's how I'm playing it.
yeah, for real.
And it just, all it does basically is Game Pass has a deal with EA right now, and has for a long time, where
Yeah, they do.
if you subscribe to Game Pass, you also get access to the EA Access or whatever, their monthly subscription.
My kids do it for Plants vs Zombies.
Yeah, so you have access to a whole bunch of EA games. And so it's the same thing right now with Jedi Survivor. It just opens up the EA app, and you play
So
it
you
out of
still
the
have to
EA app.
still have to put on the EA loader and
Yeah,
on
it
your-
will do that automatically. You go to
Right.
install it on Xbox's app, and it will automatically install
that. Yeah.
the EA app for you. But then once that's done, you can actually play it straight from the EA app if you don't want to open Xbox even, because
Right.
it links it. So anyway, yeah. So good news there overall, I'd say.
Free?
Jared?
I'll play it.
Would you agree?
Oh yeah, I wasn't expecting this. I thought they abandoned it. So
Really felt like they did.
You're like
I am
another,
quite happy.
another Star Wars game abandoned, just like Nathan Drake.
Oh man, tearing open that old wound.
Oh man, we had good times, me and him.
He'll live forever inside you, with you, in your heart.
Among
Jared's
other
got
places.
Nathan Drake inside him at all times.
Ah!
And on that note, we're done for the day. Thank you for downloading us and making it to the end. Before we go, big shout out to our awesome Patreon backers, patreon.com/helpdeskarcade. If you donate $6 a month or more, you get a shout out on the air, which Jaron has for us right now.
Thanks to David Broshinsky, Aaron Faulkner, Connor Keesall, and Football Tony, Jason Eatman, Mies Chonies, No Mole Climbs That Can't Be Mountain Hilled Over, Grandmaster of Death
Nailed
Kwando,
it.
Be the 8-year-old, Michael Shane, Tony the Home Theater Geek, Travis Johnson, buy Geekshow Arcade Help Desk stickers at Pieman Graphics on Etsy. All proceeds go to Lee George Cade's medical bills. Jeremy, No Name No Color, Kesslo, Eric Steinman, Eric Cruz, In Between Rating Plus 15, Matt Nelson, DP, Wesley, Adam, Stuart Lloyd. The Problem with Society is Meatballs is Tasty, and Ryan. Thank you.
Thank you so much, Patreon backers. You are awesome.
Amazing.
I had the first time to practice.
Yeah, second go around. Yeah, we'll see you next week. Thanks again for downloading us. And Owen, take us out.
Hey, we hope you care.